Hey guys, long time no speak. I know I have not posted a video in a very, very, very long time, but I'm here and I'm going to tell you why. So, I've had a little bit of a hiatus off makeup videos and everything due to in June and July of last year, so 6 months ago, I had 2 spinal surgeries. It was supposed to be one, but it ended up being two. So I thought while I get ready for my job, I would fill you in on what happened and yeah, and how the recovery's been and all that. Okay, so the first, I was so excited. I was like so stoked to be finally having like this surgery because I was like, oh, yes, this is gonna help my back like so much. So I was like very, very ready for it, which was good. So I went in on a Wednesday, I think it was, or a Thursday. Wednesday or Thursday. Anyway, I went in, I think it was a Wednesday, and bright and early in the morning, Mum took me in, we checked in, got called up, did all the paperwork, etc., got called through, got to the, where they like, pre-op, yeah, there you go, pre-op, took me to pre-op, and all that, which was great, and then got changed, got ready, said goodbye to Mum left, and then from there, didn't wait actually that much longer. I was like first up, which was really good. Got taken down. Hang on, my hair's really annoying me. Let me just tie it back for a sec. So yeah, I got taken down, went in. Oh, saw the anesthesiologist and everything. They put a couple of drips in, so they could obviously give me anesthesia, and then whatever else they needed to keep me under. Went in, had surgery, came out. Turns out it went a little bit longer than what it should have, which, you know, that's neither here nor there. So basically I had half of my back reinforced. They took a graft from my hip. So I've got screws and plates in the spine. So that's joyous. To be honest, the first couple of days I don't really remember much because I was very, very high. They had me on morphine, fentanyl, and ketamine. And if you know what any of those drugs are, you know that whack them all together, and yeah, it was a fun ride. So I don't really remember much. I wasn't really in any pain, which was good. I suppose that's the plus side of it all. I had a drain in for like 24 hours, and then they took that out, which was fine. I did end up having like a small reaction to the amount of drugs. I ended up getting hives because of that, which was fine. Gave me something to counterbalance that. Within 5 days, I was going home. So, and, you know, I was stoked. I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. So they give me some stuff to go home with, like pain medication wise. That was great. Came home, spent about a week on the couch, just, you know, getting my bearings. And then the second week, I just thought, great, I'm coming good and all that. I thought this is fantastic. But then I noticed that the very top of my spine, where my spinal scar is, the very top of it had peaked open. And I was like, oh no, that can't be good. And it was like leaking a fluid, which turns out was my spinal fluid. So anyway, my sister, who is a vet nurse, she ends up coming over, because I'm like, she's like, I'll come check it. So she came after work to check my back and everything, and she cleaned it up for me. We went to the chemist, We got some stuff. She cleaned it up for me, rebandaged it, and she's like, we'll just keep an eye on it, but we'll get Mum to have a look at it. So Mum came and had a look at it. She rang through to my GP. This is the next day, and we went down, and we just thought maybe they were just gonna like stereo strip it or whatever. But the doctor that came in to have a look at it, he took some photos of it and sent it up to the spinal surgeons at Royal Perth, and they're like, nah, give her a letter, get her up here. We're gonna call down to the emergency department, get her in here as soon as possible. That is not good. And we were like, oh. And this was like right at the beginning of like Perth's very first ever like lockdown, so Mum could basically drop me off and that was it. Then she ended up having to go back to my place and get me a whole bunch of stuff because I had like nothing on me. And yeah, so I had a couple of people look at it in the emergency department because I pretty much got taken straight back. And then they took me up to the ward and checked me in, I guess, which was weird. They had a look at it. They like put some, because the top was kind of okay, but the bottom had opened a lot. And I guess that's going to be expected in all honesty, because like it's like right where my tailbone is, and like so what my bum crack starts. So of course that's where you like bend the most, like, and it stretches. So in the end, that ended up coming open as well. I'll keep this in view so you guys can see what I'm doing. So yeah, so that sucked. So they ended up packing it and everything because this was like nighttime. And like, so of course, and then Mum dropped some stuff off. The nurse went down to get it. I had like the best nurse. The nurse's name was April. She was really lovely. Had her for a couple of days. And she was really lovely. So anyway, that was fine. Surgeons, like my actual surgeons, came and had a look at it the next day, and they were like, yep, no, we're going to reopen you because that doesn't seem right, especially when I mentioned the fluid leaking out of my back. And they're like, right, we will just, we're going to reopen you. That's fine. So again, it was literally 2 weeks later. I think it was a Wednesday. Must have been Wednesday. So 2 weeks later, they wheel me down. I'm a mess at this point because I can't have any visitors. I don't want to be there. I was just not having it. But I was there and I was like, it's fine. Just make do. So they reopened me back up and they did what they call a debridement. Basically, which is like they go back down to where they were. They completely wash it out. And they take a whole bunch of like samples from the metalwork and blood work and like all the layers and everything in between, and they send that to a special lab. And a couple of days later, because they put me on some antibiotics just to be on the safe side, because they thought that perhaps I picked up like an infection. And bingo, bango, bongo, yes I had. I had picked up what they call it's an epidermis staphylococcus, which is a staph infection, which I still am currently living with. But basically there was like no blood flow around my metalwork, so it's like a breeding ground, happy little breeding ground for, the staph infection. So that grew, like the happy little camper it was, and still frick it is in my spine. So that grew. So I was in there for 10 days and I had 2 drains in my back for like 7 days. Basically, 10 days, and then I ended up getting what they call a PICC line, which is where they put like a intravenous line through up, like, so it's like literally around where your heart beats. And it just makes it easier to administer medication, and that means I could also go home. And then I had what we call silver chain. So nurses came out once a day to obviously check my PICC line, and then give me 24-hour intravenous medicine. So they would hook me up and it would sit in a little baggie that I would have to have on me 24/7. which also wasn't ideal, but it was better than laying in a hospital bed. And then once a week I would go up to see, I would have blood work twice a week, and I would see the doctors, the infectious diseases doctors. Happy joy. I would see them once a week up at Royal Perth in the outpatients department, and then I saw the spinal surgeons a couple of times, like within the month, and then turns out the type of medicine I was on, which is like the top medicine that they use, it's called vancomycin. Nope, my infection decided, I'm going to be immune to that shit. I'm just going to make it hard for you. So then they took the PICC line out and they stuck me on 2 different types of medications that I had to take twice a day because I was on intravenous and oral, and then I went straight to oral antibiotics, which I'm still on. They make me queasy. They give me headaches. Never had migraines in my life, and I now get migraines. Nauseous, vomit. Like, it's not daily, it's getting slowly better, but for a while there it was horrid. I've been back in the ED a few times since then. Once was because of the medication I was on, just totally KO'd me one day. I was a mess, it was horrible. And I think I've been in 3 more times just because of the back pain, because the back pain is still there. And I cannot for the life of me say what I've got, but I'll put it in the description box below. But it's a disease where you get curvature of the spine, and especially as it's a specific type of curvature, and so it's happened in the metalwork that's supposed to keep my metalwork straight. I now have arching, which I'll stand up and I'll show you and you'll understand. But then it also does the opposite arching at the top half. So yeah, that's another thing to look forward to, I guess. I don't know. Can you look forward to something? But that's just added, extra recovery time and the possibility of needing a whole other surgery at some point. They want to get me to the year mark with the medication to obviously make sure that the infection is either gone or, yeah, and then we go from there. So I don't know. But yeah, so basically I ended up with 2 spinal surgeries within a fortnight of each other. Do not recommend it. It bloody hurt. The second one hurt because they re-stitched me, but then they had to do more layers of stitches internally, and then I had to have proper stitches in my back for 2 weeks instead of, because they put dissolvable ones for my outside ones. And then this time I had to have proper stitches in my back. So and I don't know why I just did that, guys. But it's alright. I forgot that I just put frickin' eyeshadow on. God, I'm tired, okay? I've basically been tired for the last 6 months. Just exhausted. Mentally and physically exhausted. I don't sleep properly. I'm very uncomfortable a lot of the time. So that's not fun. Yeah, I've gained a lot of weight. You can probably tell from my face and my upper arms anyway, but yes, I've gained a lot of weight, which I don't know how I'm going to lose, but I'm going to try. My bosses, excuse me, they finally retired. Oh, retirement life. I'm so mad at them for that, but that's neither here nor there. They know that I'm mad at them, and they're okay with that. So I have a new boss. He used to work in, I think, local government. I think it was local government. Just looking at contracts and shit. So, and he owns a Muzzbuzz. So now he's my boss. His name is Andrew. And he has a little boy named Mark. It's a very sweet little thing. And he has a wife named Jen. And she works at a specialty vet. So she's a vet nurse. Well, she's a vet, I don't know. She's in the veterinary field and she works at a specialty place. Yeah, which I think is cool. Never actually met her, but from what I've heard, she's very lovely. So yeah, I got a new boss. couple of my co-workers retired. Another co-worker of mine recently quit. That there is some serious tea there. So, but I don't know if I can tell that story just yet. I might have to wait. I might have to wait for that one. But I will definitely tell you when the time's right. So yeah, it's just been a lot. I work in the office now because I can't do the physical floor work anymore. So I am an office bitch. And I do all the ordering and the receiving and the basically all the back accounts. I take care of everything, and then I just hand all the paperwork over to the boss when it needs to be paid. He pays the bills, and I make the rest of it tick. Which has been like, some of it I already knew, and then others bits I've had to be taught either by my old boss, or I've like learned how to do it like myself, and like it gave me a whole new appreciation as to like what my boss did in the back office, like back office wise. Like, she used to work from home, but like it gives me a whole new appreciation for that. And like now I fully understand why she never wanted to like let us do some of the stuff, because like even me now, I'm like, I have to have a really good day brain wise, and I can't have brain fog if I'm gonna do some of the stuff, because I'm like, no, it's too hard to try and fix it. So yeah, that's been fun. Hang on. I'm trying to do this far away from my mirror, and it's really hard. I can't see. So yeah, so anyway, that's that. I'm just doing really basic makeup today. So yeah. Oh, I have green hair too, by the way, guys. Green hair. So I've done a little bit of green on the eyeshadows. A little bit of contouring. You know, nothing too crazy, just enough to make me not look like a corpse. Oh, let me show you my scar. It's a mess in here. Okay. Hopefully you can see it. I'm not gonna like flash everyone. Oh, a little bit. There you go. That's my scar. So yeah, that's me. As you can see, I've gained a lot of weight. I'm sucking it in just because I don't want to look like a real fatty. But yeah, I've gained a lot of weight, but I'm hoping I can start losing it soon. But yeah, so and I've also my last dog, Baxter, he passed away. So that sucked. In the last year, that sucked. And then I got a bunny rabbit, and he was 6 months old, and I think the neighbour's cat spooked him or something, and yeah, their little hearts can't take much, so he passed away too. So I lost him only a couple of weeks ago. I had a cat attack one of my birds, so one of my birds died. So yeah, it's just been a roller coaster, and it's just been one thing after the other, but hey, I'm still kicking. But yeah, that's my small update for you. I'm hoping to be back and be doing more of these makeup looks, because I've got some things in the works. Oh, and I'm studying again. So I am studying to be a lash technician, so I'll be able to do false eyelashes. So that'll be fun. You guys will enjoy that, because I'm hoping, depending on who I do it to, probably my sisters mostly. So when I start practicing and start doing lashes, I will start doing recordings, and we'll tell stories from when we were growing up, because we've got stories for days, and you'll all get a serious kick out of them. They're fantastic. We had a good childhood. We did, but all of us grew up in the 90s. I was born in the 80s, along with two of my siblings. And then my other two siblings were born like early 90s, but we all grew up in the 90s, so 90s fashion, you know, it's coming back, but back then we thought we were just, anyway. But yeah, stories to come, it'll be great. So don't forget to give me a like, give me a subscribe and a follow or whatever. Anyway, comment down below what you want to see eyeshadow wise, because I'm going to start doing some pretty crazy looks, and I'm going to start getting into like fairy tale stuff and like special effects. So yeah, hit you up soon. Bye guys.